So, hello everyone. So, as Ngakma says, I'm teaching tonight on the realms of being. Um, these are six states of being in which we can find ourselves. When I first heard these teachings, they were very much taught as six states of being where you might find yourself after the end of this life. Um, Places that you could get reborn. Um, and these six places are the hell realms, the realms of the hungry ghosts, the animal realm, the human realm, the jealous god realm, and the God realm or heaven. Um, Now that was the teaching I first heard, but I think it was Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche who first introduced the idea that all of these places are mental states into which we could be reborn at any moment. When one moment dies, another moment is reborn, and we could find ourselves in any one of these states. Which, from a point of view of practice, is a lot faster in terms of the evolution of who we might be as beings. If you wake up in the next life and you think, oh damn, I've been reborn as a snail, then that's it, really. I have to wait for the next time something happens, and on you go from there. Whereas if we can look at things happening on a moment by moment basis, you can think to yourself, I don't seem to be human at the moment. I need to do something about that. And another moment comes along and you can do something about that. So, in terms of evolving ourselves as practitioners, things work a lot more quickly if we can view these states as places or states of being that we can find ourselves in at any moment. And we can also find the opportunity to recognize these conditions in our own lives and look at what we can do about that. The six realms of being are shown on the Wheel of Life. You're probably quite familiar with what the Wheel of Life looks like. And if you imagine the spokes of a wheel dividing a circle into six, then these six sections represent the six states of being. And one of the aspects of the representation, as well as showing what life might be like in these states, is that there's always a Buddha in every realm. And this represents the opportunity for realization, the opportunity for escape from that mode of being. Buddhism, it seems to me, is always has that sense of optimism, that realization is always possible. So whatever the degree of entrapment within this wheel of life, then realization is always possible for us. The differences between the realms, we'll go into this in more detail soon, but the differences between the realms are largely to do with speed and spaciousness. The speed with which we experience the effects of what we're doing, and the amount of space there exists in order to make choices, in order to consider how we might react to what's happening. Now, I thought it would be useful just to talk about hell and heaven first off as general concepts, because these will be familiar to many people because they're present in many religions, usually as a permanent place you're going to end up at the end of this life. Once that happens, that's it, you're stuck there. Buddhism at least has the possibility of impermanence, so you don't remain stuck there. But in terms of the vision of hell and heaven, if you wanted to consult something like the Garden of Earthly Delights, to get an idea of what heaven looks like hell looks like from a Christian point of view, that would be just as valid in terms of an approach to teaching as anything within Buddhism, because hell is about claustrophobia and immediate pain. There's not much space, and there's a considerable amount of pain. If you consider that you might be in an iron box that's on top of a burning fire, then that's hell. But we'll come back to that later. Heaven is the direction in which we are encouraged to move in a lot of these teachings. And heaven is about spaciousness and about bliss, about pleasure. So it's a place where nothing is wrong and no pain is experienced. As I say, impermanence is there as an ever-present reality within the Buddhist view, and where we move from these realms depends on relaxation and struggle. It's said that the more we relax, the more we move in a direction that leads from hell towards heaven, and the more we struggle, the more we're likely to go in the opposite direction. So I'd like to start by going to hell, really. This can be quite graphically presented, really. So whatever pictures you have of hell, from whatever your past experience is, they're probably all very useful. But hell is a place where, in response to pain, we lash out. And in lashing out, in fighting against the pain, we create more pain. We see everything as a threat, we fight the threat, we create more threat. It's continuous and it's fast. So whatever we do, the results are immediate and the results are painful. There's no space in which to consider that we might have a different reaction to what's happening. It's a place where we're burnt, boiled and stabbed by demons, but we don't realize that as well as being the being in hell, we're also the demon. This is something that we are entirely doing to ourselves. I think I should probably say at this point that people experience all manner of pain in their lives, but these teachings are addressing the suffering that we heap upon ourselves rather than the pain that you might have actually been attacked, or the pain of a difficult and any kind of difficulty within your life circumstances. These are the pains that we heap upon ourselves, and we keep heaping upon ourselves because of the way we react to them. So if you imagine you're in a hurry, you're getting ready for work, You're running around the house trying to get ready, and you stub your toe on a chair. Who left that chair? Yeah, there. You react angrily, you kick the chair hits the cupboard where you keep your precious glasses, it wobbles, topples over, and you're there trying to catch glasses before they hit the floor, but no, you're too late, they're hitting the floor and shattering all over the place. You step on shards of glass, you cut your foot, you hop towards the medicine cabinet, but you can't keep your balance and you fall over and you hit your head on the medicine cabinet and it falls on top of you. From a small seed, the mighty oak of hell grows, and you could continue that almost indefinitely. You get blood on your best shirt, you have to take that off and put it in to soak, and so on and so forth. And this meeting that you're trying to prepare yourself for, it gets more and more difficult to get out of the house without clearing up behind yourself, and you're going to be late. So we need to look at the primary reaction, the first reaction. If we have space in our lives and we stub our toe, what do we do with that? Or whatever comes up in those terms. But you can see from just this little example, everything that follows, we're doing it to ourselves. Whatever's going on, we're doing it to ourselves. So from within this space, everything starts to look like pain. Whatever we do, there's more pain. The more we fight it, there's more pain. This is just a running thread throughout the hell realms. And these are the hot hells. There's a lot of activity happening there. There's a lot going on. An option is to withdraw. And to withdraw within the hot hells, we actually enter the cold hells instead. Because the hot hells are too much to bear, we shut down. Now in the cold hells, the person is depicted as frozen, but not simply frozen, frozen and cracking apart, because the cold has got into them completely, opening like a blue lotus, it is said. So you can imagine the pain that goes with that. But fortunately, at some point in time, even hell exhausts itself. Now, there's a wonderful film called Clockwise, and this contains a wonderful example of character played by John Cleese, who's always punctual, always organised, insists on it in others, and he's preparing a talk for a headmaster's conference, and he misses his train. And thereafter, what follows are all of his racing attempts to catch up with where he needs to be and get himself to the conference. It includes getting a lift from somebody, but insisting that they drive across a field, because it's a shorter distance across the field, but they get stuck in mud. You'll see him ripping a whippy branch off a tree and berating and beating the car for having got stuck in the mud. But one of the key moments in the film is that he and a companion, and I don't remember for the life of me how this happened, end up in monk's robes, having just about given up on the possibility of making any progress towards their goal. And they're lying in a state of relaxation on the grass when up comes another possibility. A car arrives that could take them to their destination. And so all of a sudden, they're back into this again. And the John Cleese character says, it's not the despair I can take the despair. It's the hope I can't stand. Because despair is relaxation. It's relaxation from the idea that you're ever going to get this thing to work. You're completely relaxed with it. It's gone. Too late, finished. But hope is struggle. I can make this thing work. I can go somewhere. I can get to where I want to be. And it's struggle that keeps you locked into that realm. And it's relaxation that allows you to move on. So from the hell realms, if you relax, if we take this in a linear manner, then from the hell realms you can move into the realm of the hungry ghost. There's a little bit more space in the world of the hungry ghost. Not a huge amount, but a little more. And so this arises out of the cold hells when you start to defrost a bit. Now the hungry ghost is hungry and eager for experience of some sort, but they're not discriminating about what that might be. And so they're shown as these beings who have a huge mouth, a huge hungry belly, and the thinnest possible neck. And whatever they go for, they can fill their mouths with it, but it gets no further. Or it turns into poison, or it turns into fire, and they're always left with this complete aching hunger. Because what's lacking in their vision is any sense of appreciation. In order to gain sustenance from anything, and anything we consume, it's not just food and drink, it might be information, it could be experience of life, it could be almost anything. But if we have hungry ghost mentality, there's no real appreciation there. And so nothing is digested, nothing is even swallowed. And this, Ngakpa Rinpoche describes this as the realm of the intellectual, the people who consume vast quantities of information, but it's never swallowed or digested. It's just vast, copious amounts of knowledge about something with which they fill their mouths and it gets no further. But they occasionally vomit it on other people and all over their environment. And intellectuality, badly done, looks very much like that. That if you look at academic papers, they cross-reference each other but come to no conclusion. They don't help anybody in terms of understanding anything, because these people have never digested anything, so they can't say with any certainty what's what. So all you get is cross-references. The hungry ghosts are the beings that we remember particularly in Dzog practice. And I was intrigued when I first attended Dzog practice that after wonderful food had been distributed to all the participants present, we were asked to put some of it back. I thought, put some of it back, what's going on? And not only put some of it back in a bowl, but it was an old bowl, a dirty bowl, and we had to scrumple it up. We had to make it basically as unappetizing as possible. And then at some stage in the proceedings, this was taken outside, maybe left behind the toilet, thrown on a roof, just generally dealt with as if it was something horrible that didn't matter too much. And the idea there is that hungry ghosts can recognize this horrifically presented food as actual sustenance. Somehow, it gets across the barrier to their vision, and they can actually pick this up and consume it. So there's also a teaching there in terms of how we go about attempting to help people, how we offer our help to people. It's presented in terms that they can understand. Might not be what we'd want. We don't want this crumpled up food. But if that's what means something to the person we're trying to help, that's what we do. And I've always very much appreciated that as a teaching, a presentation, and an act of kindness. If we can gain some sustenance, and if we can learn to relax in terms of the hungry ghost realm, we can move on to the possibility of entering the animal realm. If we can't relax, if we struggle, then there's the possibility of re-entering the hell realms. That's just the way it works. Too much struggle, down we go. If we relax, then we move on to some place where the vision is broader, where there are more possibilities. The animal realm is very monotonous, blinkered, like a sheep in a field that's just wandering around picking up the next blade of grass, or a pig at the trough who gets fed but doesn't really have any say in what it's going to be like, whether it's good, bad, or there's no sense of any choice there. Animals just get what they're given by the environment, and there's not a lot going on. It's broader in terms of vision than the hungry ghost realm, which is so much concerned with purely and simply dealing with its own hunger, but it doesn't go very far in terms of breadth of vision and breadth of possibilities. It's described as the fundamentalist realm. So if you know of people who will find all their answers in their good book, or all their answers in terms of the manifesto of a political party, these things are right, other things are wrong, and there's a sense of certainty there, and we're not going to enter into any discussion, because discussion creates other possibilities, and I don't want to deal with that. I want the certainty of knowing where my next blade of grass is coming from. I want the certainty of following a particular path, and that's all I want to do. If we get to the point of maybe lifting our heads a little bit while we're in our field and able to look around a bit, then we can relax into the possibility of entering the realm of humanity. This arises from relaxation of animal vision, relaxation from that condition, and looking around and accepting that there could be other possibilities. It's not all grass and pigs will. It might be possible to prefer one thing over another. We might be able to prefer green to blue, or we might be able to prefer sausages to cake. Anything could happen, because we can make choices. We're no longer trapped by a need for a complete sense of certainty, a complete sense of security. We can look at what else is possible. This is the highest realm. It's interesting, we're just over halfway through the realms, but this is the highest realm in terms of possibility, because if we have actual human vision, we have the balance of irritation and practice. We have enough things going on in our lives that tell us that we don't have all the answers. And we have enough time to engage in practice to try and find out what's happening, to be able to look at our reactions to situations, so things aren't so overwhelmingly fast. We're not driven by insane hunger. We're not monotonic in terms of wandering around a field. We have other options available to us. So this is the realm of greatest potentiality, and it's a place where there is the possibility of spaciousness, and there's the possibility of humour. Humour is really important to the human realm. Humour is the human realm is the place where you'll find humour. Everywhere else is just too serious. Having a sense of humour, and I mean a real sense of humour, a sense of humour about our own situation, about our own contradictions, lifts everything into another dimension. I saw it written a long time ago that humour is like being able to have an eagle's eye view of your own situation. All of a sudden you're somewhere else, looking down upon your situation. You're no longer trapped in it. You can see how it functions. You can see how you function within that situation. And you can laugh at yourself. And practitioners need that possibility because we engage in practice because we've recognized something about ourselves and our situation that perhaps needs to change. But we also recognize our motivations are mixed, change is slow, we still do all of the things that we used to do that sparked us into thinking about practicing in the first place. So we have to have a sense of humour about our situation in order to keep things open. This is also the realm where we have empathy with others. We're not so trapped within our own view of the world and within our own needs that we can't see other people and what they need. And so there's the potential of connectedness, and there's the potential of kindness towards others. We see other people are just like us. We see we need things, they need things. Everybody's looking to be happier, and we can help with that. So we recognize something in other beings that is just like ourselves, and we can do something about that. If we find ourselves lost in struggle within the human realm, then the animal realm awaits. If we relax within that, now things get quite interesting at this point, because as I've mentioned heaven earlier, there's an enticement there towards those people that we see who seem to have made it. And because there's that enticement, there's the idea that we can even exit from the human realm and look towards becoming one of those people who've actually made it. But unlike the other realms, moving on at this point may not be what we want to do, because moving on actually takes us away from this interesting balance point of humanity, moves us on from having this openness of vision, and because we're enticed by the possibility of really making it, we enter the realm of the jealous gods. We've seen a glimpse of people who have made apparently a complete success of their lives and have everything they want, who can somehow now afford to buy their own island, launch themselves into space. They can do anything that they want to do. They just have to practically think about it, and it could happen. And we feel enticed by this. We want to be like them, but we're not like them. We become careerists. We become middle management who want to get to the top. We see the people at the top. We want to become like them. We want to work our way up this ladder by whatever means, and we want to become like the people that we've glimpsed from a distance. They seem to be relaxed about their situation, and if ever you get the chance to ask them how they did it, their advice would be, just be yourself. Just relax. That's what I did. I was just myself. I relaxed. And here I am with everything. We can't believe that, because every time we try relaxing, there's always trouble. It never seems to work out. So because we don't believe that, we want to climb to their position, and we try to do it through struggle. This is sometimes shown as trying to climb a tree that has razor leaves. And as you try and climb up, they point down at you. If you give up at all and try to climb back down, they point up again. It's a dreadful situation. You're trapped there by your desire to reach the realm of these godlike beings. And you struggle with that until exhaustion sets in. This is both this is the interesting thing about exiting from any realm. We have to have exhausted the possibility that it will actually create what we want, that we can get there through our sustained effort at trying to make it work. And then if we relax in the jealous God realm, bingo, we've made it. We can relax, and we find that we've entered the world of the space exploring billionaire, or the person who owns their own island and goes on holiday whenever they want. Anything, there's no struggle, and everything is a reflection of me, because what I want is what happens. I project me onto the environment, and me is reflected back to me, and anything I want just happens. It's a dream world, and we appear to have watched ourselves achieving enlightenment. So that's a good thing. We have gained enlightenment and taken ourselves through with that process. Anything disagreeable that might exist within the sphere of our vision is pure illusion. Anybody who appears to be suffering, it's an illusory suffering. We know this. And all they need to do is relax. If they relax, they'd be just like us, and they would exit from their suffering immediately. So there's no sense of kindness there. There's no compassion, because it's me reflecting me. And if you've seen one of it might have been the last of the Matrix films, at least I hope it's the last of them. There's a point where Agent Smith is the entirety of reality. It's just me, forever. And the God realm is a bit like that, or at least he thinks this is going to be it now, because they're just me.
We have a question.
Yes?
So the question is there a kind of struggle which leads from the human realm to one of the lower realms, which is different to the kind of struggle which leads into the higher realms?
Well, the struggle that leads you to move, say, from the human realm to the animal realm is when you engage in dissatisfaction, but fighting that dissatisfaction in terms of seeing your own projections as real. And that will move you towards either being an animal, being a fundamentalist, because your projections are now real and that's the only way to go. Or if your painful projections are seen as real and you're fighting those, then that will take you towards the hell realms. And as I say, these are states of mind, and we can follow that. We can maybe even see times when we've done that to ourselves, and see where we end up. Now, the causes that move you to the higher realms, the causes that you move you beyond the human realm, I'd like to say you can relax with it, because that's generally the process. But actually, you start to engage with struggle again. So, as the questioner says, it's
Streamy.
It's dreamy. It's a glimpse of something that you think is better than the human realm, and you then start into the process of striving for it. So the jealous God realm is this transitory anomaly in some ways, because you've glimpsed people who've made it. You want to become one of those, and so you're willing to engage in a bit of struggle to get there. But the only way of getting there is to exhaust your idea of struggling to get there. So it is a bit different, because it goes from a glimpse, a struggle, to relaxation again. 5 minutes. Right, I will now panic, run around, stub my toe, and all sorts of things will happen. So we've moved from the jealous God realm to the God realm. We've basically watched ourselves become enlightened, but we've sort of moved from the lower realms, me and my problem, to the highest realm, me and my enlightenment. And the problem with me and my enlightenment, it's not enlightenment. If there's a me in there, it's not my enlightenment. And because anything that involves me is impermanent, by definition, things start to get a bit shaky around the God realm. And we start to notice that things aren't quite perfect. And a certain sense of panic sets in. But if we try to struggle to retain our position in the God realms, we're going down. And it could be one step, it could be all the steps, depending on how fierce the nature of our panic is and how much we miss that sense of bliss. So we fall out of the God realm. Essentially, heaven has just been a holiday. That's all it's been. We've done nothing with it. We've had all that space, time and opportunity. We haven't done anything with it except we had this time of relaxation. But now we've got to book our tickets, go through customs, get on the plane, come back home, go through customs at the other end, and return to work on the Monday morning.
No, you have to go into isolation for 2 weeks first.
Not forgetting to take a test on your return to make sure you've come back to humanity and you haven't brought any nasty bugs with you from the other realms. So to wrap up in the next 3 minutes, if we understand the realms are in ourselves and not in our circumstances, this is always true. Recognizing this gives us the opportunity to return to humanity. In fact, as soon as we recognize this, in any kind of aberrant state that we find ourselves, if we notice that we're in an aberrant state, we're human again. If we notice, oh, I'm being a bit like an animal here, or I'm being a bit like a hungry ghost, or whatever, then we're human again. Bingo, immediately. You only have to notice it, and you fall out of it. You might fall back into it the next minute, but you fell out of it. And the human realm is the best opportunity for practice. So don't be enticed by adverts for the God realm or anything like that. They're lies. So always stay human, always remain within the realm of practice, because it's from there that the best opportunities are for realization.